This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
What's going on? I'm McMahon Man Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
And this is the Viewers Anonymous podcast. What's up with you, brother?
Man, can't call it, man. Just came off this 2-day weekend. Some of y'all people got 3. You know what I'm saying? I was just very distraught about that on the last episode that we did, but I ended up, man, like I said, worked a half day, got off around about 12:30, came home and, put some more shit on the grill again, but it was pretty good weekend, man. So, but how about yourself?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I had a blast this weekend, man. Me and the kids was out there. We was playing. I blew up the little pool for them. And man, my brother came through. He brought his kids over. My sister and my mom was here. My uncles and everybody came through. My little cousins came through. And I was barbecuing, but my mom threw me off the grill. She saw it take too long, so she took over the grill. Then after that, I was playing with the kids and shit, and I got drunk. You know what I'm saying? I still got a little athleticism in me, man. I was trying to run for my kids. I ain't had no shoes on, and the grass around the pool was wet. So I tried to run around the pool to get away from my son, and he yanked my shirt, man, and I slipped back, fell right into the pool, man.
Oh man,
it was tearing me up. We had water balloons, man. It was dope, bro. They got me though. They was throwing water on me and shit. It was all bad.
Damn, that's funny. That's funny, man. We had ended up doing all our shit on Saturday.
Okay.
I was happy because I didn't have to work the grill, so that was a plus. Yeah, man. But we just had a good time, man. Everybody tripping, you know what I'm saying? Old stories and shit. So man, we had a good time. Ended the night off with some fireworks, had a couple of cold ones, had to get those in,
Sure.
So but yeah, man, it ended up being a pretty good weekend, man. So I can't complain. I can't complain other than me not being off on Monday.
Yeah,
still mad about this shit.
That's
now,
cool.
Now when that paycheck come, cause see, my job, they on some bullshit, man. Like we don't get paid for holidays. Like we get $50 or some shit. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So the check is always short. So it's like now it ain't gonna be short. So, but all right, so I can deal with that part. So
yeah, that's cool.
But I get over
it. Yeah, bro. But nah, man, it's man, that's one of them dope times of the year, man. Like summer coming around, you know what I'm saying? You got the 4th of July. Now we got Juneteenth as a federal holiday. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it's gonna be a lot more of that type celebration, not necessarily the celebration of the 4th or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, having time off, being able to barbecue, kick it with your family and shit like that. I think that's needed, man. A lot of that is needed. So, you know what I'm saying? That's one of them things that you gotta, appreciate and take in as much as you can before it's all said and done.
Now, before we get started, man, we got a great one today. But before we get in there, man, we gotta let the people know, man. Like, look, we doing some shit out here, man. I'm not saying that we the only one that came up with this idea, but you sent me a text.
Oh, now, yeah.
So we recorded, you know what I'm saying, on the 2nd. You know what I'm saying? We recorded Independence Day. We put that shit out. You sent me a text. Goddamn Bill Simmons and them boys do Independence Day and put it out Monday.
On rewatchables.
On the rewatchables. I'm like, man.
And this ain't the first time that they done did a movie we did either.
Yeah. That's like the second or third time. It's like we had just did this and then they did it.
The same episode out. Yeah. I'm starting to feel like they watching this.
Man, look, if he watching, you know what I'm saying? We are available.
Bring us on as a guest, Bill Simmons. Come on, man.
Yes, man. we would like it if if you pay for our transportation. We down.
Hey man, listen, if you could pay for the transportation or just the hotel fee, one of the two, I could do the other one. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. I would love to be a part of the rewatchables, man. I would love to be a guest on that joint. I ain't even got to come down there. We could do this via Zoom or whatever. But
either way.
Yeah, throw us up, man. What's up? Throw us the oop.
Yeah.
You like sports.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it was just so funny because you sent the text with a bunch of laugh emojis. I'm like, yo, again?
Man. Yeah,
like,
man.
Again. So that's funny.
that just let you know, man, we moving in the right direction though.
I will tell you this though, one thing. I'm mad they did bad boys. I'm mad they did Boys in the Hood before us though.
Yeah.
I am mad about that one.
And that's been on the docket for a minute too.
Yeah, it's been on here for a while, man. It's been on here for a while. And we let Bill Simmons beat us with Van Lathan. It's so funny. But I'm glad he do it though. Because I don't think he's using Van as like the token black guy because Van is really good at this shit.
No, Van is like the movie guru though.
Yeah, he is.
Like his movie knowledge is crazy, bro.
Yeah, and every time he do, you know what I'm saying, a movie that's primarily a black cast, he pulls Van in, which is smart thing. Which is smart. It's really smart. But yeah, the rewatch. We always talk about that podcast, man. But like, you know what I'm saying, it ain't no like I don't have any hate, man. Like I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if the Western Bros come back. I doubt it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But there's enough room for all of us because all of us we got different takes. We do different movies.
Definitely salute to them though. Salute to the guys of the rewatchables, man. I think that you know what I'm saying, Bill Simmons, Van, all them, like that's dope. Like, cause I listened to the Ringerverse. You know what I'm saying? Like they got a special one that they do with like MCU, DC, I think it's DCEU, whatever, however they got that one. But they got the DC, they do all the comics, they do Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. Like it's all in that comic book, superhero, you know what I'm saying, sci-fi fantasy world type thing. So Van got one that they do on the Ringerverse. It's a chick named Mallory, and she got one that's on there. But I mean, they do a great job of, you know what I'm saying, covering those movies. And plus, like I said, man, I like when Van get in his movie bag. You know what I'm saying? That's like his passion. So to hear him talk about movies, regardless of what it is, I think that's, you know what I'm saying, always dope to hear.
That it is, man. So it was just funny. It's really funny, but it also gives me like not necessarily hope, but it's like like you just said, it just seems like we on the right track. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, of what we doing. So we trying to give y'all that real. You know, we put a lot of thought in this. It isn't just like, all right, like let's just do this movie. Like we do movies that we passionate about. Like the only time that we did something that I don't think that we both was 100% passionate about it. It was just so funny that you said it when you said Blair Witch Project. That shit was hilarious.
But see, that I mean, we weren't passionate about it, but just the nostalgia of it, I thought would have been dope because you know what I'm saying. Like I'm younger than you, so like around that time, I was old enough to remember it and remember the craze around it, like remember the shit that was happening, like the shit that was on the news and whether this was a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember my stepdad brought it home on bootleg and we watched it, and you know what I'm saying? Like you thought that shit was real until you later on they tell you on TV that nigga that shit was shot like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like that's just one of them things where you just be like, man, like that shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like how we brought up the comparison with Paranormal Activity. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Remember when that came out, everybody thought that was actual footage. You know what I'm saying? Like come to find out, it wasn't. So yeah, that was just one of them ones, man. Like I knew it was big enough to talk about for sure.
But the thing is, it turned out to be a good pod, though.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It still was a good pod. We got a lot of good shit in that day. Yeah. So, but yeah, we put thought in this, man. It ain't just, you know, but then like we also, I think what we do that's special then we get into the pod is the fact that, you know, we either take, you know, we do our appreciation episodes and all that type shit. And yeah, we do blockbusters, but at the same time, I think a lot of the movies that we do, some of them aren't always considered blockbusters, but
Right.
we consider them that. You know what I'm saying? We feel it was something for the culture that that really shaped, you know what I'm saying, us, or really shaped the world in a way that only the people of the culture would know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, early on we did Juice, we did The Last Dragon. Like
we did
that shit
Sandlot.
that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was shit that changed the culture. Like it might not have been like, you know, made a whole bunch of movies money in the box office, but you know what I'm saying? But it hit the culture in a different type of way.
Right.
So I think that's what makes our podcast special.
I agree. I definitely agree.
You know, just my observation.
That's what's up. So man, today we are getting into I consider this a classic. A lot of people, a lot of people probably don't, only because of the subject matter. But for me, I definitely fuck with it because I read the book. The books was amazing. But it's a novel by Dan Brown. It came out in 2000. When did this come out? 2006. It's called the DaVinci Code. You know what I'm saying? This was a very what's the word I'm looking for? Controversial. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, sir. This word was a very, very, this movie was a very, very controversial movie, as well as the book was a controversial book. But it stars Tom Hanks, stars Jean Reno, Ian McKellen, Paul Bettany. Man, oh man, I'm trying to see some more common names. There's a lot of foreign people in this one.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I can't.
I think that's all the what's names.
Yeah, I can't go in. I can't go in on the cast, but Tom Hanks, man.
Really?
Oh yeah, Magneto. Can't forget about Magneto.
Yeah, Ian McKellen, Jean Reno. He's definitely one of those guys. Oh, Alfred Molina. I forgot about Alfred Molina. He played the priest, but Paul Bettany he played Silas, but he also plays Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think. What can I name from Jean Reno? Jean Reno played in Leon. He also played in Die Hard.
Dude, the one dude that was I can't say his name. I think it's in our language, I think it's pronounced George, maybe. I'm not really sure. But he's the same dude from Beverly Hills Cop 2. He was the one that dated Bridget, the tall chick. The dude that was he was the dude that worked in the one place where they took the key in there, and he put them in the back of that truck.
What character do he play in DaVinci Code?
That's the dude I'm talking about. When they went to when they had the key and they went to that place where the safety deposit box was.
Right.
He was the dude that was the night manager, and he put them in the truck. And then when he was in the truck and the cop stopped him, and he was like, yo, I gotta go. He looked at the clock. He's like, I gotta go. He was like, what type of driver wears a Rolex? He was like, oh man, I got this Rolex off of such and such, and it was only I got it for $40.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Beverly Hills Cop too.
Hell no. So yeah, like they got some, you know what I'm saying? They got some people in here, man, who has some good movies behind them. But for those who don't know, the DaVinci Code is simply a story of I believe a Harvard professor, Robert Langdon. He basically gets called upon by the French police, and I guess like the French version of the CIA or whatever, or the FBI, to basically help them find out to basically help them solve a case because these dead bodies keep popping up with all of these cryptic messages. So basically, he's like a symbologist and everything else, and he's like into religion and everything else. He studies all this theology. He basically goes around and he helps this young lady who saves him from Detective Fash, who is basically like the lead on one of these assignments. But the young lady, Sophie Nouveau, she helps him. She helps him escape, and then basically they go on like this adventure of finding out that there is a bloodline from Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, and basically Sophie Nouveau ends up being the great granddaughter of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. That's basically what we find out at the end. So that's just a short synopsis. It's a lot of interesting things in this movie. If you watch it, it's way more detailed than that. It's a 2 hour and 26-minute movie. So where do you want to start, my brother?
I guess I remember what I remember from this movie when it came out was how people was very disappointed in Ron Howard for directing this movie. Yeah. And the fact of like, I mean, cancel culture wasn't around at that time, but like it was that was like one of the beginnings of it. You know what I'm saying? Like people wanted Ron Howard out of here for doing this because you know, one thing about like doing a movie that's around religion, and then like Lee would always talk about was like, you know, uncovering the biggest secret known to man. Like how can you say the greatest book in the world, well, the greatest story in the world is a lie? Right. So it's like you have a lot of people who are very, very religious, and when this movie came out, like a lot of people didn't fuck with it at first. And it probably some people who still that are, I mean, that I would call closed-minded, like they still really don't fuck with this movie. But that's one thing that I remember from this because, I mean, 2006, I mean, shit, I was, let me see, I was like, what, 20, that's when I went up to college when I went to West Virginia was in 2006. And I just remembered that. I remember the backlash, and I was just like, yo, that made me want to see it more. You know what I'm saying? At the time. So, but as far as the movie, man, like I thought the whole thing of, I love the whole thing. It reminds me of, remember we did Lucy, right? So when Morgan Freeman was up there giving his lecture, you know what I'm saying, Robert Langdon was doing the same thing. And I thought it was just so dope how he was showing these images and saying that, you know, a picture can say 1,000 words. You see one small part of the picture, you think this, but then when you show the whole thing and you put the history behind it, it's not the same meaning. So I thought that part was really dope. But it was so crazy how the dude came up to him and gave him a photo around all these people. And he had to hide the photo. Like, dude, like, really? You gonna, like, we don't do this shit in America. Like, we don't show nobody a graphic photo when he's around a whole bunch of people. And what I'm not doing, you know, what I normally do. It's just I'm leading up. And so like when he took him to the crime scene, I thought what Sophie did was dope. How she gave him the phone and said there was a message for you, and you know what I'm saying. And he almost blew it. You know, he was like, "Hey, you gave me the wrong number." You know, like
she's like, "No, nigga, just listen."
Yeah, like just listen. Like, God, man, chill out. So I thought it was dope how, because I wished I could put words together the way he does, because I thought it was really dope how they would highlight the word, highlight the letter,
and he was doing like the anagram thing.
Yeah, man, I thought that was dope, and that just shows you like how smart is it? Was it Sonier? Yeah. So Sonier, for him to put that together after being shot, really think about that. He gets shot in like the abdomen or whatever. This motherfucker gets up and he writes this whole thing out.
In
you know
blood.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? In blood, bleeding and shit. He goes, he put together this whole thing of, yo, go to the Mona Lisa. But then when the Mona Lisa get there, then there's another anagram that you got to put together. And then that takes you to another photo. And then that's where the key was. And like that, I thought that part was so dope. And it's like, that's when I knew, like the first time I watched this movie, that's when I knew, like, yo, I am in for a ride.
Yes.
Like I'm really in for a ride because I'm into history like that. Not as much as in a religious sense, but just more of like history and the way that he put it together, like that right there told me, oh, I'm gonna have to think throughout this film.
Yeah.
So I thought that part, that opening scene of how they did that, and also showing Silas and him being this I forget what the group is called, but like he's
Opus
basically he's there to protect.
He was a super devout member of Opus Dei.
I'm telling you, dude, like and it makes you think like there, like throughout history there has been these religious wars and it's still going on today, and it's just like these people are just going around killing people. So I thought the opening scene was dope, man.
I did too, man. So dark, the kind of man, you know what I'm saying? That was I'll never forget that. But yeah, like this, for me, this movie was right up my alley because, like I said, I read the book. I read the book after I seen the movie, but I also happened to read the other two books in the Robert Langdon series that Dan Brown wrote as well. It's Angels and Demons, and then it was
Inferno.
Yep, Inferno. So I read all three of them, you know what I'm saying? But that was after I seen the DaVinci Code. And then this is probably the closest to a book a movie has ever been. First and foremost. I thought that was amazing because, you know what I'm saying, like everything that happened in the movie, I can envision it when I was going back and reading the book. So I thought, you know what I'm saying, the fact that Dan Brown worked so close with them in this movie, I thought that was great because, you know what I'm saying, it really wasn't a lot that was left out. But as far as, you know what I'm saying, just the movie went, man, I thought that, you know what I'm saying, Tom Hanks, he did a real great job bringing Robert Langdon to life. It's not an easy thing to, you know what I'm saying, bring a character like that to life and give that type of character a face because there's a sort of a air about Robert Langdon. You know what I'm saying? He's not a real arrogant guy. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot of faults, but at the same time, he's this super brilliant mind. You know what I'm saying? That's a Harvard professor. But you know what I'm saying? He wears simple clothes like a tweed jacket. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He could speak different languages. He could read Latin, but at the same time, he don't know how to talk to women. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a certain thing about him. So for Tom Hanks to bring that to life, that was amazing, man. For me, it's always the puzzles, you know what I'm saying? The cryptic messages, everything like that. That's what really attracted me to the movie for real as well. Because like I looked at that like, okay, yeah, this is really brilliant. Like he really has to use his mind. He really has to think. Like you said, we're gonna be going on an adventure in this movie. It's another reason that I think that just a real quick sidebar. It's another reason I think that the Sherlock Holmes movie with
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, with Robert Downey Jr. I thought that was so great because they made him, you know what I'm saying? Like they expounded on his intelligence. And I feel like the same thing was done with Robert Langdon, you know what I'm saying, with Tom Hanks. They really expounded on his intelligence. They made him a thinker, you know what I'm saying? They really made him you know what I'm saying, this super intelligent dude. So man, going into it, you know what I'm saying, you started it off, you know what I'm saying, just right, talking about the like it started off with puzzles and cryptic messages. They had to go find out about the Mona Lisa, and then they had to go to, I forgot what the other
something of the rocks.
Yeah, I forgot what it was, but they had to go to the other one. Like you said, they found the key. But not only were they going through all this to find out what was actually going on, they also didn't realize that they were, racing against time against the Opus Dei. And, you see this guy, Silas, who looks crazy. He's an albino monk. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know if you call him a monk. I think a friar or whatever. I don't know what they call him, but you know what I'm saying? This nigga, he had the friar out. He had the friar tuck outfit on, and this nigga was like
with the
powder white. Yeah, with the sandals, powder white. But he was absolving himself. So for anybody that know what that is, basically he was punishing himself like they punished Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Whenever he felt like he sinned. So that was his way of purifying his spirit or whatever of sin so he could be accepted into the kingdom of heaven or whatever. So I thought that was crazy. Like, yo, like this dude is this devout that he's really, like absolving himself of sin. And I that shit threw me for a loop because he had the chastity belt then on his leg, then he had the fucking, I think that's a chastity belt, but then he was hitting himself with the whip and shit. I was just like, yo, this shit is crazy. But they end up basically escaping from Detective Fash. And then next thing you know, bro, it get crazy from there. So my thing is this, right? My favorite part of the movie is when they go see Lee. This is when I really fall in love with the movie, because there's like this ongoing chess match between Lee and Robert, right? And they have like this witty dynamic that they have, conversation and all that back and forth. But in this scene, it felt like Lee got a one up on Robert. You know what I'm saying? So for this scene specifically, Lee was basically breaking down all of these things, and he basically kind of gave the plot of the movie away in a sense when he was talking to Sophie. And he was telling her that, that there's this belief that, Jesus and Mary Magdalene had a child or whatever, and that bloodline basically lives on to this day. And then, he was breaking down words like sangreal, which means like
royal blood.
Yeah, like blood. You said it's the what again?
Royal blood.
Royal blood. That's what it was. So it's like, where it said like royal blood. So like that's where you get sangria from, like, and then they was breaking all this shit down. And then they was talking about the picture that DaVinci, was it DaVinci?
DaVinci, yeah. The Last Supper.
He was doing the Last Supper, and then he interloped the picture, with a mirror image, and then it had basically Mary Magdalene laying on Jesus' shoulder and shit. Like, so it just, even though that wasn't the actual picture of the Last Supper, just the fact that DaVinci, was one of these guys who was into secret societies and everything like that, and he had knowledge of certain stuff that everybody else wasn't privy to. And then he brought up the Council of Nicaea when they, they basically picked the books of the Bible, put it together, and basically it's the King James version of the Bible that we have now. So for me, that's why I love that scene, because it has so much information in it. And even though some of it, really wasn't like real, like for instance, like the Last Supper picture, like we know that wasn't real, but just the fact that he was talking about like the divine feminine.
Hold on. What do you mean it wasn't real?
What, the Last Supper picture?
Yeah, what do you mean by not real?
That's a painting by Leonardo da Vinci. That's not a real thing. Da Vinci wasn't born when Jesus was alive.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a real thing.
Oh, so okay. I thought
I'm
you
not saying the
saying
painting ain't real. I'm saying like the scene of the painting isn't real.
Gotcha.
Okay. So yeah, like he was talking about like the divine feminine, how like the divine feminine is like a chalice, That's why a woman's womb is inward, and then the masculine is a phallus. That's why it's outward. Like just that type of shit. To me, that's the type of shit that pulls me into like movies and shit like that. So that was my favorite scene of the movie, though.
That was my second favorite scene.
Okay.
my second favorite scene because I thought it was dope how he was able to like how he would ask Robert to show the sign for female and for male and shit, and like that was dope because Lee, because Robert was like, yo, Robert was like, the mind see what it wants, the mind see what it wants to see, but like Lee had so much data to back up his theory. You know what I'm saying? He had three different versions of like a Bible in his house, and one of them was Mary Madeline's Bible that she wrote, and so it seemed like Robert was starting to, like you said, because Lee one upped him. You know what I'm saying? And Robert was starting to believe he wasn't all the way there yet, but like that scene really got him to open up his mind to a different thing. And what I also thought was dope was because like that's why like the movie's called DaVinci Code is because like from what you were saying, like because I was meaning like I was trying to understand what you meant by not real, because he wasn't alive at this time, but the way that he painted it with this, like you said, he was in like the secret society type of thing, and like he's trying to show you something in plain sight,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because even when you look at the Last Supper, I remember even before I even seen this movie, my God, like before I even said, because my grandma kept the Last Supper, like she had like 2 or 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? And I always looked at the person beside Jesus and like, it looked like a girl, man. I'm dead serious. Like I always thought, because like what they tell you is this one cup and is and this men is all men in the picture. And even when I was a kid, I'm not trying to make myself be the smartest guy in the world, but it was just like, oh man, that one looked like a chick.
It's a real feminine looking dude.
I'm telling you. And then like Lee said, you said a little bit of a bosom. I was like, it was like when you look at it, like, yeah, like that looks like a chick. And so, yeah, that was my second favorite part. My favorite part was, look, yo, the last like 30 whole minutes of this movie is remarkable. Like it's some of the it's like some of the greatest cinema you ever gonna see. Like the last 30 to 35 minutes is just, I mean, yo, everything about it. Like I love the ending of that movie. Like starting from like when Lee had got arrested, which it was so funny. Because like before that, and see, I love shit like this. I love how they was envisioning like what Robert was visioning in his head. Yeah. And like so he was coming up with, you know what I'm saying, the thing to open the scroll thing. And it was so dope how he did it. He, told Lee he couldn't figure it out, threw the thing in the air, busted it. And so what we thought at the time was the message was destroyed. Right. And so Lee,
Lee definitely.
Yeah, he figured it out. It out. And so you know what I'm saying? So while Magneto was getting locked up, you know what I'm saying? He was like, you figured it. He was like, you couldn't have. He was like, so spread the message. And I still don't get how he got Apple. I don't get it yet. Like
Isaac Newton.
I still don't get it.
The apple fell on Sir Isaac Newton's head.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Also, Adam and Eve, apple.
Got you. So, starting from there, like everything after that, I mean, for them, I don't know, like what's really up with like that church. I don't know if that's like
Opus Dei.
Like I don't know if that's like the real one. Like they was actually able to film in the real. Yeah,
you saying that actual church? Okay, that I don't know. Yeah, so, that would be dope as hell if that was a real thing, though.
Yeah, and like how they was coming up with all the stuff, and like there's the chalice. They go down. Dude sees them. And he recognizes Sophie instantly. So they go down. You know what I'm saying? Go under the rope of a private area, knowing they ain't supposed to be going in there. I'm telling you, Robert turned into a G. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have done that before he met Sophie. Yeah. And so then they went down there, live under the starry skies, and then the room had stars all over the ceiling. And so then they found that thing, they moved the rug and they go under, and when they go down there and you see where the body, supposedly used to be, and then they moved it, and then for him to see the all that stuff about the bloodline and all of those documents. We know that part of it's not real, but just to think that there is a place where there's these documents that's dating all the way back, what I'm saying, to Jesus, existence. And then it's like for them to keep up with that and write and document everything down and to have it in that room. I thought that part was dope. But like the dopest part was when also included in the scene was when after, him and Sophie had that one conversation, she stuck a foot in the, because like Sophie's grandmother came and like, well, really her whole family came because the whole thing was to put her under the Grand Master to pass along all the information to her, but they end up having, disagreements, and so he wasn't never able to finish with Sophie. Like Sophie was supposed to have been trained on some things, but he wasn't able to do it.
Right.
And so I thought that was dope, but the dopest part was when Robert cut his face, and then, he envisioned something, and he goes to his book, Rose Line, Bloodline. He follows the Rose Line that goes through London.
No, you right, Rome.
Yeah, Rome. So, and
that's
then
that's the Catholic Church, that's the Louvre, all that shit. It's definitely Rome.
Yeah, and then when he was able to, that thing is dope. I would love to go there, man. See, I'm a scene seer. You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about the Louvre? The Louvre, I mean, I know that shit is crazy in there, bro.
Man, I would love to go there. Like, man, it looks so great on TV. It's like I would love to see it. And like for him to come up with in his head that her body was under that. You know what I'm saying? The star, she rests under the starry skies. I thought that shit was so dope. And how, I know it's not real, but how the camera go through the thing and then go up under it and the body's down there. And I was like, man, this shit is dope. I was hyped. Man. That shit, the last 30 minutes is great. I could watch that.
The last 30 minutes is it's worth watching that whole movie, because the last 30 minutes kind of it pieces everything together in an amazing way. Like you said, just the cinematography of that was, that was dope as hell. What I thought was dope was, like the fact, like you said, when he was, figuring everything out, then he figured out that, the Rose Line is the bloodline, and then, he made the connection between the Isaac Newton and then being in, being in the secret society, and the apple with Adam and Eve, and like putting all that together, and then finally, finding out what everything was. I thought that was dope. And then, for her to find out who she really was, like that's an immense amount of pressure, bro. Like, listen, brother, that's an immense amount of pressure. Like, dude, can you imagine being like Jesus's grandchild and you just been sinning all your life and you on your way to hell, bro?
Man, it's
fucked up the whole family tree.
It's like that's worse than being, and for people to get it, that's worse than being Bronny Jr. right now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like just think of that. Like, you've been robbing niggas all your life, nigga. You done ran up. You know what I'm saying? You got tax fraud. You got credit card fraud. You probably done robbed a couple food banks. Then nigga pull you to the side and y'all go on this crazy ass adventure, and then they come to find out, nigga, you the grandchild of Jesus Christ, the great grandchild of God. Like, what? You can't even turn your life around, bro. Like, you just gotta accept life for what it is at this point.
Well, I think there's a couple more greats on there, but
no, I know that. Like, yeah, you can't go through all that.
Yeah, But the thing is, it's like it seemed like Sophie was on the right track. But what
Yeah,
also was dope about the movie was the fact that like Robert was like, maybe maybe that what did he call him? Maybe that drug addict would never pick up another drug again. He was like,
yeah.
maybe you cured my phobia that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe she had this stigma around her that was, Jesus or Jace. You know what I'm saying? Where
Mm-hmm.
she was able to touch people, but maybe she just never noticed, or maybe it never occurred to her after the scene that like these people was different.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that part was also dope, and like how the teacher the whole time was setting Robert Langdon up,
Yeah.
like that was that was fucked up, because for somebody to be that brilliant and for you to try to put him down for this for killing Senior, like that was dirty. That was a little
Well,
dirty.
I think that was done that way because they knew he'd be the one that could solve the shit. He'd be the one that could unlock everything. Because like as you was like seeing him go through shit, the more and more he got a chance to see certain stuff and unlock certain stuff and get access to certain stuff, like you could tell how he was connecting it to stuff that he was learning and stuff that he was studying. So I thought that was, like I just thought that like he would definitely be the one that could solve anything that they threw at him.
True. So they was like, yeah, we got to get him out of here.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
for
So
sure.
that was. I mean, it was trash, but I was glad. I was happy that he was able to get out of it, because it's like why are you watching this? Like you just find yourself like
Mm-hmm.
just rooting for Robert. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, man, I hope he get out this situation, because that's what ended up happening. Like, dude, and we got to talk about it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure, like, you know what I'm saying, he's on our docket. We just, you know what I'm saying, we gonna get there when we get there. But dude, Tom Hanks is a whole
Yeah.
legend out here, man.
Yes, sir.
Like, I mean, like you said earlier, like he gave Robert Langdon a face, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like the way that he just embodied this role, man. Like, even when it come down to the way he was acting about like his phobias and like,
Yeah.
like that shit ain't easy. And it
Mm-hmm.
was just like the way that he was just able to do it, and it looks effortless to us.
Yeah.
But like, man, he killed it, man. He killed it all three times. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But out of the whole series, this is my favorite.
Yeah. DaVinci Code
Um,
is definitely my favorite.
yeah, but like he definitely like, and he embodied it, man. And like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to think like, do he have, or is this his series, like his franchise? Because I'm
Well,
sitting here thinking,
they already got all three of the movies made, so yeah, it's definitely his because he was in
because
because they got Angels and Demons, and then they got Inferno. Those already came out, so
yeah, like
Da
what I
Vinci Code
mean
was
is,
just the first one to drop though.
okay, right. Sylvester Stallone, he got two. He got Rocky and he
Right,
got Rambo.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Harrison Ford got Indiana Jones.
mm-hmm.
Like I was meaning like that, because I don't
Oh,
think
I
he
mean,
has.
I
That's
would say yes, but
that's
the
it.
only
Because
reason that it probably isn't is because the other two didn't do as good as Da Vinci Code did.
they didn't. But like I'm just meaning like as far as like playing the same character, because
Oh
like
yeah, for
obviously,
sure,
what I'm saying,
for
there was
sure,
only one Forrest Gump. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So like that's like his one. So
I
he
mean, but
killed it.
I don't think he's ever been in anything to make like sequels in besides this though.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
true, true.
Because I mean,
Because
he was in well, shit, yeah. Anything that he's been in, well, besides these, anything he's been in has always been a one-off.
true, true, and Denzel Washington did the same thing until the
Yep,
Equalizer. You know what
yep,
I'm saying? So
pretty much.
yeah, man, I just wanted to mention that because man, he did. Oh, I think
Man,
a great job.
you
What
brought up
happened?
Denzel Washington, bro. I would like to see a sequel to Book of Eli, because that's what this is in that same vein of Book of Eli. Like, you know what I'm
True.
saying? You realize the power that he got when they talking about a book, and then come to find out at the end of it, it's a Bible, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, the Book of Eli hit different.
Yeah, dude.
Like
It do.
I
Big
think
time.
that if you're watching it for like an entertainment type of not in a yeah like entertainment like you want to be entertained, like it's a different part of your brain
Mm-hmm.
that you have to use. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying, for the Book of Eli. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because it's not as visual as a DaVinci Code. Because what
Right.
I loved about DaVinci Code was like how like when they were sitting in the park talking, him and
Mm-hmm.
Sophie, and he was talking about the religious wars, and they were showing you,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, the actual wars. Like I
Yeah.
love visual shit like that, and
Mm-hmm.
for them to show that, I thought was really dope because they did it, you know what I'm saying, throughout the movie. You know what I'm saying, for people to not only hear the point but visualize the point as
Right.
well.
Like when they
So
were
this,
talking about like the Priory of Sion, they was talking about the Knights Templar, you know what I'm saying? Like all them. It's actually showing you, you know what I'm saying, the wars between Christians and Muslims and all that different stuff. Yeah,
yeah, and
100%.
showing you how they was women that spoke their mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They considered them as witches and shit, and how they was dumping
Mm-hmm.
them in the water. And
Mm-hmm.
they said they killed over
That's the
50,000.
Salem
Dude,
that's the Salem witch trials.
they said they killed over 50,000, and that's just a number. Like that's an
Yeah.
estimate
Yeah.
of
Salem
women.
witch trials. Yep.
Crazy,
Mm-hmm.
crazy. So, and that's another thing. This movie is very educational as well.
Yeah.
If you in that realm, you know what I'm saying? Like
Because
if
it'll
you,
make you do research. It'll definitely
yeah,
make you do some research.
exactly.
That's how I actually found out about the Council of Nicaea. Like that's the first time I ever heard of the Council of Nicaea, and I had did that research. Like, cause I thought, you know what I'm saying, like I said, it's a movie, so you don't know what's real, what ain't. And then when I found out what the Council of Nicaea was, and I started hearing more and more people start talking about it, that's when I was like, damn, like that shit crazy. So you know what I'm saying? Like this movie, it'll definitely open your eyes up to some things that have been in the shadows for a long time.
Yeah, man. So, so let's talk about it.
Okay.
Do you feel that there was a bloodline, or that there is a bloodline that's
Um.
passed down?
Okay, so like I got a different well, I don't know if people know, but I got a different outlook on Christianity. So me personally, I don't necessarily believe in Christianity. And I don't think that Jesus Christ was a real person. I think that Jesus Christ is a metaphor on how you're supposed to live life. I think that the Bible is and was written to basically give people a reference on how to on basically just how to live and be controlled by the church. So for me, that like once I got old enough to start doing my own research and reading for myself, like certain things just never made sense. Like if if Jesus was real, that would make him like a demigod, right? So that means like this nigga got the power of God, but he also is like in human form. So he could heal a nigga from being blind, and then like he could feed people with like a couple fish and some bread, but he couldn't stop niggas from killing them. So for me personally, I don't think so. I don't think that there's a bloodline. I don't think that that's a real thing. Um, my beliefs are totally different from this, but I do think that the the metaphor of Jesus is just basically how they say the church says that we should basically live though.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Like my whole thing was always how they could. How do I want to say this? I think that if there was a such a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They paint a person in history the way that they want to be. Like, how do we know everything is written happened the way that it's being said?
Right.
That's my whole thing about always questioning. And I'm gonna tell you, and I know this is an odd comparison of how I got here, but like I have like I feel like that's just like if you go on a trip. There are several ways to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? This is just the route that I got there. The route that I got there and to start having these different thoughts that I have was King Henry VIII. Like he was the one who got me there. Because like after I watched the Tudors, I started doing research and shit. And like that's what really got me to question a lot of things, especially when it comes to religion, just like how so King Henry VIII was the first like king to get a divorce, and the way he was able to do that is like he had to switch away from Christianity and like create his own religion. You know what I'm saying? Well, not really his own religion, just a different religion that allowed divorces. And then so that's what he did, and he convinced everybody to switch to what he switched to. And then when he died, Mary wanted to switch it back to what it originally was, which was Christianity, and the people were so loyal to him. So that's why she got the name Bloody Mary, because she had so many religious wars that I think that at that time period, there was the most people to like ever die under her reign. And Elizabeth, she just did her own shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I thought was what really got me to really start questioning a lot of things, not only just what I just said, but also the fact of King Henry VIII spreaded a lot of lies. You know what I'm saying? Like he wanted to be revered the way that he wanted to be revered.
Yeah.
And so he wanted his life to be documented the way he wanted it to, not exactly of everything as what happened. So that's what got me to that point. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't take, point A to point B. I took point A to Z to R to, you know what I'm saying, to get to B. And I took this and I was like, yo, if he's able to do that, how we know they weren't able to do that then?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
This is the thing. So when Constantine actually started the Council of Nicaea with, you know what I'm saying, the high ranking members of the church and all that, you know what I'm saying, like it said that, you know what I'm saying, they took out certain books, they entered certain books and everything like that. But for those who choose to look beyond that, there's a book called the Apocrypha. And those are basically like the omitted and missing books of the Bible. So there's a book that you can see where there's other books of the Bible that haven't been added to what we have now. So like you can read and everything. So it's like that just goes to show. Well, it showed me like, okay, a lot of this shit really is real. Like some of this shit that I'm seeing and hearing about when I'm doing my own, you know what I'm saying, independent research. Okay, like some of this shit is really starting to make sense. How, you know what I'm saying, certain things were left out or why certain things are left out. But like even for me, you know what I'm saying, like when like I was going back into, you know what I'm saying, like African history and everything else like that. And I was looking into like the Nile Valley region and everything like that. So I learned about Heru, I learned about Asar, Set, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm learning about Osiris and all them. And as I'm learning about them, I realized that really the story of Jesus is just a translated version of the story of Heru. You know what I'm saying? Like how Osiris impregnated Asar, and then Asar had, you know what I'm saying, Asar had Heru, and then basically just the story of Heru is just basically like a translated whitewashed version of, you know what I'm saying? I mean, no, Jesus is a translated whitewashed version of Heru. So, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of this stuff that we hearing about now really is just translated African religion and history.
Yeah. But but for the sake of the movie though, like my thing was, if there was or is a such thing as him in existence, I don't see why he wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? been, because like they paint her to be a prostitute in the story.
Mary
You know what I'm
Magdalene.
saying? Yeah, Mary Magdalene. But like, in this movie, they're giving us a different vision of like, no, like he loved her, like that was actually his wife, and she was pregnant during
Right.
the time of the crucifixion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't think it's that damn far fetched. You know what
Well,
I'm saying? For the
it's
sake of
not
the
far
movie,
fetched. Yeah, it's not far fetched because if you really think about it, right, they tell you that the Holy Trinity is what?
the Holy Trinity. I don't
Yeah.
know what.
You don't know what the Holy Trinity is?
What's that?
It's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
But you know that like that don't make sense. So,
Okay,
for instance, how could you have a father? How could you have a son? You have no mother.
true.
You know what I'm saying? So really, the Holy Trinity is really man, woman, and child. That's why, like, even if you look at a cross is just two phalluses put together, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
look at what it's supposed to be, which is an ankh, it's the divine feminine, the male principle, and then the middle is supposed to be life. So once
Mm-hmm.
those two meet, they they create life. So like it's supposed to be, what is it, 120, 120, 120, which is 360, which is a full cipher. So like basically your mother's, your grandparents, then you got your mom's parents, which is your grandparents, your dad's parents, which is your grandparents, which creates that triangle of 120, 120. All of y'all, all of them are fuck, how did they break this shit down? It's, what is it? It's yeah, so it's the triangle is basically the mother, child, and the mother, father, and the child, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what the 120 represents. It represents each point on the triangle. And then basically once they come together, you got 120 from your parents, 120 from both your parents, and then you are also 120 because you got two parents, and that all creates 360, which is the cycle of life. And
Mm-hmm.
but that's what the pyramids were for in ancient Egypt. I know I'm
Yeah.
saying it, the way I'm saying it ain't making no sense because I ain't read it in a minute, but it was broken down to me, and then I had this I got this book somewhere, I got to find it. I got this book that breaks it down as well. So basically, like, what I'm saying, like, everybody's body is, what I'm saying, in tune with the earth. We all are a part of the earth. We all are a part of the universe. Like, we all come from, what I'm saying, this whole everything is made up, like the stars and the dust in the galaxy is the same thing inside of your body right now. Like, ain't nothing, what I'm saying, on this planet or in this universe new or old. Everything is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they created like pyramids and shit, that's what the pyramids represent. That's why, like, when you go see the pyramids of Giza, it's 3 pyramids.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it's once you look into it and you see what I'm talking about, like, you'll understand, like, all of this shit. That's why I said, like, all of the shit that they talking about in these religions is really just broken down African history and African religion. And that's why I said, like, it's hard to kind of look into that and say that, what I'm saying, if Jesus was or wasn't or whatever. But I don't want to go into that because I don't want them on my Twitter talking crazy to me. But I put it like this: if Jesus was real and there was a bloodline, I wouldn't be shocked because the reason I got into even talking about the whole 120 and everything else and the Holy Spirit, the Holy Trinity, was because in European times, at the time when they had revised the Bible and recreated the Bible, women were like second-class citizens. They were like property, basically. So when it was the man, woman, and child, they took out the woman part and put in the Holy Ghost. So
Yeah.
Basically, you know what I'm saying? Like women didn't get the same respect as men. They basically had to be servants of their husbands, you know what I'm saying? Like if they wasn't married, they wasn't shit, you know what I'm saying? That type of weirdo shit. So now that, you know what I'm saying, we've all come to our senses, and we're a little bit older and we don't let the governments or the churches tell us what to do, at least a lot of us, we're able to read for ourselves and figure out that a lot of this is hoopla.
Yeah, and before we get to it, like something else that's like dope about the movie, and then like this is how like the great Uncle Washington would say, you know what I'm saying, it's
The
built for
church is a lot.
no, well, it's built for white Anglo-Saxon males
There you go.
because
There
the
you
way
go.
that the movie is set up by saying that the church was supposed to be led by Mary and not Peter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And see, but just imagine if Mary did lead it. It wouldn't be no such thing as a woman ain't allowed in the pulpit. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It wouldn't be allowed that women can't speak.
Yeah.
So and then this whole trials of when, you know what I'm saying, when they killed the 50,000 women, all of that type shit wouldn't have happened
Right.
if it would have been
The
Mary's
world,
version.
the world would be in a lot better place if a lot more women had the ability to lead.
Exactly. So that's something else that's like that's that I think that people should look at when they watch this movie and really, really think about it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
why are they telling us that it was Peter? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If his wishes was really for it to be led by Mary,
Mm-hmm.
why is history telling us it's Peter? Just telling you, men run everything. Women don't
Yeah.
have no say so. So that's something to think about, man. People should really think about that.
Yeah, man. And at the end of the day, man, we unorganized. Without a woman, man, a lot of us can't do shit. I'm just not gonna
Man,
lie to you. A
man,
woman make everything better, brother. So yeah, salute to the women, man.
yes,
Fire
sir.
flame time, brother. You ready?
Let's do it.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
Man, you do the honors, man.
Yeah, man, it's on me. Like I said earlier, like the beginning, the middle, the end, everything, everything, everything was fire, man. Like the
Yep.
way it was put together, the story. You read the books. I never read the books, but the way it was put together, the way it was written, they, I'm simple. Make it make
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
And if you believe this theory, they made it make sense. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Whether it's real or it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So that is very dope about the movie. The cast, like maybe some of their names aren't noticeable, but like
Right.
like you mentioned, there are some guys that we've seen in some other
Mm-hmm.
shit before. But everybody did a really good job. The storyline was great. Um, I'm gonna give it a 4.5, man. 4.5 Fire Flame for me. Um, is like I said, man, that last 30. I, I'm I want to go 5. The only reason I don't go 5 is because as much as I enjoy watching it, like the stuff that I gave 5, I I I know I watch it like, twice a year or some shit like that. DaVinci
Mm-hmm.
Code is close. Like it's really like a 4.8, but we only do fives in the numbers. So I'm gonna give it. I mean, I know a 4.8 is supposed to round it to a 5. I know that, but still, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. But the last 30 minutes probably last like the best 30 minutes in like film history, just about.
Man, listen. Plain and simple. 5. If I could go higher, I would. 5. Listen, this movie was amazing. The concept of this movie was amazing. Dan Brown did a great job creating this book. The cast did a great job putting this together. Shout out to Tom Hanks. I think he did an amazing job as Robert Langdon. I really can't even picture anybody else playing that role now. But for me, I thought it was, you know what I'm saying? I knew that it wasn't real only because, like I said, you know what I'm saying, finding out about the books and everything, I actually, like I said, read the book after I seen the movie. But I remember my teacher talking to me about seeing it because we would always have like these type of conversations about certain things. But this was like one of them. She had seen it and she was like, I think this would be a great movie for you to watch. You would like something like this. So eventually I ended up watching it. I was in high school when this came out too. So that was, you know what I'm saying, really like right around that time I was doing all my little independent research and finding out stuff, really thinking I was finding myself. Truth of the matter, I really wasn't. I was just reading a whole bunch of shit. I ain't changed nothing. But but nah, man. For me, man, like I said, this movie is a 5, bro. It gives you everything you need. The controversy that was surrounding it, you know what I'm saying? It had a lot of people up in arms. And then not only that, this was 2 years after the Passion of the Christ came out. So you know what I'm saying? It was already, like you said, it really wasn't no cancel culture, but they was on their ass when they was making these type movies. So you know what I'm saying? The fact that Ryan Howard came out and, you know what I'm saying, and stood on his ground about this one, you know what I'm saying? It was beautifully shot. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of good in there in that movie to make you think about certain things, make you really question you know what I'm saying, your beliefs and go back and find if, you know what I'm saying, you really do have faith or if you really don't have faith. I thought that was one of the things that this movie did, but it was good for a lot of people to me, man. And especially for me myself. So yeah, straight 5, brother.
I ain't mad at it, man. I ain't mad. I expected it, but I ain't mad at it because I mean, you know, this is one of those movies that I can easily change my shit and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I made a mistake. It's a 5. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's there, man. It's great the way it was done, shot, all that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
that's what's up. So
Yeah,
we
man.
ready.
So, yeah, coming soon, brother.
Coming soon, man. Listen, this movie has the greatest intro of any movie of all time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're literally the way it was shot by, you know what I'm saying? What do you a music video guy? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He came in and shot it. Um,
You
oh man,
you know it's funny now that I think about that, like now that you said that, now that I think about like certain scenes in the movie, it looks like a long ass movie video.
that's
I
what it
mean,
looked like. What it
a
was.
long rap video.
I'm telling you, man. It got some legends in it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying. I'm
It's a
trying.
classic too.
I'm trying to give us now. If everything go according to plan,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying. We got a guest lined up.
Yep.
So just spoke with them yesterday. They said they still good. So hopefully everything goes according to plan. But this movie is oh man,
You
um
can't give no quotes, bro. You can't give no
I
quotes
know
because
because it's gonna
it's
give
on
it
your low.
away. It's
Yeah,
yeah. It's one
because
of those movies.
that's why I said it's just know it's a classic. It's
It's
definitely a classic.
it is definitely one, man. Like I was trying to think of one. Can I say one? Just one.
No,
Just
you
one.
got it, but I'm telling you, gonna give it away.
Okay. Now somebody else said it too. So
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Put the weed in the bag first.
I knew that's where you was
Then
going.
get the
I
money.
knew that's where you was. I knew that's where you was going. As soon as you said somebody else said, I said I already know where you're going. Yeah,
Yes,
just put the
man.
weed in the bag, man.
Put the weed in the bag.
Shout out to
So
Charlamagne.
yes, sir, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
Charlamagne for real, because I'm telling you, but I had to mention him on you know what I'm saying. My last, well, no, actually I didn't mention it on that one, but you know I've always tell people that's when I started my podcast after I
Mm-hmm.
read Black Privilege, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's when I started it. As soon as I finished it, that's when I started it. So I
Yeah,
always shout out to Charlamagne.
for sure.
But
So
but
yeah,
yeah,
man.
man.
Friday is
Oh my
going
bad.
down.
Yes, sir, man. It's going down, man. Like I mentioned last episode, that final episode of Stolen Time podcast. You know, go check it out. You know, I pretty much thanked everybody who's ever been on the podcast, how I met everybody, all that type stuff. So, Go check out the outro of the Southern Time Podcast. I got a 28 minutes lined up, so be on the lookout for that as well. You know what I'm saying? S. Foster still podding out here. You can go to S. Foster8 on Instagram and Twitter. 28 minutes or less pod on Instagram, 28 minutes or less on Facebook. And that's all I got, man.
Man, you guys can go check me out on Twitter at Scoots Bronson. You could follow me on Instagram, ScootsBronson_TV. Go check out my last episode of 15 Minutes of Fame with Hustle Boy. I got some more stuff coming up in the works. And, man, I'm bringing back my T-shirt line, man, Overly Opinionated. Y'all just keep your ears open for that. I got some new designs and stuff that I'm going to be throwing up there soon. I'll be shooting the website soon as well. And that's all I got, man.
That's what's up, man.
For sure. So you already know, man. Thank you guys for listening in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely appreciate it. Until next time, like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.